Hello and welcome. We're all set to start with the first panel discussion of the day. Post Sonata presents What's in the Genre, wherein our esteemed panel shall converse and try to decode the dominant genres which are currently dominating the Indian OTT space. Be it thrilling crime, be it dramas, relatable people next door, tales, and so many enduring small town stories. Let's give a huge round of applause to the panelists. Please welcome Radhika, Madan, ladies and gentlemen, Gulshan, Devaiah, Ashwini Tiwari, Rasika, Duggal, Gauhar Khan, and Tanya Bami, head of series at Netflix India. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not the least, our panel discussion is going to be curated by Mayank Shekhar. Please give a huge round of applause to him as well.
Welcome to the opening session of India Fest, OTT India Fest as it were. We're discussing genre. I really hope it turns out to be a completely generic discussion on genre among film buffs, people who are also creators, but we watch far more than anybody creates, right? But I'm going to start this discussion with actually a story. It's a story that I came across very recently about an actor who was doing a show, or was it a film, I'm not too sure, and as a result of which it was very clear that she would have some dietary restrictions. She couldn't eat a lot of things because she had to lose weight, or at least maintain a certain weight for that part. But throughout the shooting of whether a film or series, I don't know, she kept thinking in her head that there is that one thing she will eat once the shoot stops. And she kept dreaming it, she kept imagining it. The day the shoot stopped, she had to go somewhere, run an errand. She ran the errand, and then she reached this place called Lashkara, which is a restaurant in Punjab Sweet House, asking for a chole kulche. But it was 4 o'clock, and the chole kulche could only be available at 6 o'clock, and she started crying. And that person is right here, Rasika Duggal.
When you said it's a story about an actor, I knew it wasn't good.
Well, there are lots of actors here. But the point I'm trying to make with this story is, how would you define it? Is it a comedy or is it a tragedy? It could be both, right? And which is really the first question that I'm going to start with is, what does a genre really mean to you personally as artists and as curators plus producers of content? I'm going to start with you, Gauhar. Personally, when you see something, when you see a script, when you read a story, when you are supposed to be in it, what is it? It's a thriller, there's a certain way you're going to go about it. Or it's a comedy, so there's a certain way you're going to be as an actor in the role. What does the genre mean to you?
Honestly, when I read a script, I become a viewer, I'm an audience, and I get involved in it just as the audience would when it gets produced and directed and is there for all of us to watch. Personally, I do enjoy the thrill in a script. So that is something that I think why I have also done so many of projects, like starting from game or anything that's on even our OTT platforms right now, whether it was Tanda, whether it was even Shiksha Mandal right now, most recently. Thrill is definitely my favorite genre when I'm actually reading it. But as an actor, if you ask me, is there a favorite genre that I look forward to? No, I just look forward to a great script in hand.
Right.
And it's the content in it, that's what becomes my favorite genre. Comedy is something that I enjoy thoroughly. But yes, on the OTT, right now we see that we're not exploring that way too much as we're exploring the thrill element. But as an actor, is the content what I'm reading, and the genre really comes in.
Right.
Yeah, after that.
Right.
Yeah.
I've just packed some,
Chole kulche.
Chole kulche from Punjab Sweet House. So before you have that, can you just tell me what do you think a genre is to you personally as an artist?
I think for me, actually, what's exciting when I read a script is when I can't put it in any one particular genre, when I can't clearly tell that it belongs to this genre. And I think what is then not so good is when you have a different perception of the genre than the director, and you reach on the shoot and you realize that, oh, they had thought this was going to be comic and you thought this was
This
going
sounds
to be
very tragic,
drama.
whatever is going on.
This does sound very tragic. That is the tragedy. But yeah, for me, what's exciting is when I can't really put it in one particular genre, and then because those kind of scripts are generally in which a director's voice is sort of important, and the vision of the director sort of is very important, that it can be taken in and be made to be different things than what is on paper.
Radhika, I mean, you've also done television, and soap opera is also a genre its own right. And that is a genre of another scale, another level in terms of you being in a part for like 400 episodes straight, as against series, which would be one season, 8 episodes, or maybe 2 seasons, 8 more, right? How is one, I mean, in your case, it's also a shift of medium, and therefore genres change. Would that be correct?
Kind of, yeah. The major difference is the luxury of time. When you're shooting for a daily soap, you need to deliver the episode like come what may. If you're sick, they don't care. No matter what, you can be hospitalized, you just need to deliver the show because that is the priority. That episode is the priority. With shooting series, I think you get like luxury of time. You get time to find the character, to sit with the director. And that was the main reason why I wanted to shift the medium, just because of that luxury of time. I remember, I've told this thing before as well, that I remember I was in a scene and I was figuring out what my character will do in this particular scene. And I was just talking to my director, and I was just asking him that, because of her childhood, I don't think she's going to do this, that. And he was just pacing up and down. And he was a little anxious, irritated, and then he just lost it and told me that, Radhika, जब हम picture बनाएंगे ना, तब हम एक scene को 3 दिन तक discuss करेंगे, अभी ना episode deliver करना. I think that really hit me. And I thought to myself, will I get the luxury of 3 days to discuss one scene? And I just wanted to explore that, and that's the reason I changed, I shifted the medium. But the resilience that you built from television is something else. Then movie making, no matter how many hours you shoot, it feels like luxury.
Ashwini, when you start out with a story, what do you have first in mind? Is genre one of the things that you're thinking from a point of view of storytelling itself?
So for me, mostly when we're writing, it's not like the kind of genre we want to write, it is what we want to say as a story. So there are a lot of times when I've been asked what genre this is in, and I myself do not know, is because they would be like, and thanks to now the various platforms where we have our films and we are asked to choose between, it's almost like a personality test. So you're asked to choose between, what are the different categories, and then every category has various emotions. So it's almost like the 9 emotions, and all the 9 emotions have various categories. And then you're mixing up everything. Okay, my film has this thing, so okay, it would be a comedy, but it has also emotion, so there's drama, but then there's also a little thriller elements. Okay, so then it's also thriller.
Where are you feeding this information? Where exactly you're feeding it? Like, it's like a grid that you're feeding into?
Yeah, so basically we are given this kind of
so there is such a form that you have to fill. Are you kidding me? Thank you for letting us know.
I think it's a great thing.
I'd love to take a look at this form.
Yeah, because what happens is that at least you realize that where you are, and what kind of film are you making, and gone are the days of that you're put into. See, there's a broad spectrum of genres, but I can make a family thriller drama. Or I can make a story which is comedy but has drama. So basically,
I mean, drama would be common, right? I don't think you can possibly make something without drama in it. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Tanya would be able to tell this
Huh.
better. We as storytellers just want to like just tell good stories, and there are a lot of times I've been asked, like for example, I'll tell you, when I made
Tell us a
Nilbate-
funny story.
Yeah, I'll tell
Yeah.
you, so when I
Yeah.
made Nilbate Sannata, I made it purely because I just wanted to tell that story. And it turned out to be that there was a lot of comedy in it also. And I was asked that, okay, where do we put this, And a journalist asked me that, where do we put this, Is it, yes, it is a social story. It talks about education, but it has comedy also. So how do we put it? And it's a theatrical. And it's a theatrical where people in South Bombay also the theatre was full. So now how do we place this? And I said, okay, I think it's a comedy social drama and it's called midstream cinema. I didn't know what to say. I said, okay, midstream cinema. So, people, I think Mike, you were also there that time. So,
I wasn't a journalist who asked you the question.
Yeah,
huh,
no,
by
you
the way.
do- you
I
don't
still
know
don't know what the
journalists ask
genre of your
question.
film is.
Yeah,
So,
but then I really liked the idea of that, okay, what is it? It's not here, it's not there. Okay, it's called midstream cinema. We are in the midstream cinema right now.
Right.
And the same thing happened in Bareli Ki Barfi also. It's because it was like, um, there's a father-daughter relationship, but there is a woman who wants to have her say, but then these two guys there's a comedy angle there, and there's a lot of fun, and it is for everyone. So then where do I put it?
what do you tell
Because
Tanya
for-
when you bring that script to her? Like, what do you say to her, right? That's really.
Yeah, so nowadays what I do is that I like a story, I write it, and then I say, okay, this is what it is. I think it's in the thriller zone, but I think you should read it and just coin what
Fair
genre
enough.
it is.
But I think Ashwini, in your case, you've done a fair amount of work. So if you do meet Tanya, which you just have, and if you were to pitch a particular concept to her, she kind of gets what you're going to be doing. But Tanya, I'm sure you get like hundreds and thousands of scripts on a daily basis, a bunch of pitches from people whose works you've not seen before, but they should also get a chance to be on your platform. Do you think genre as a way to become a classifying area becomes easier for you? It becomes something that becomes a little predictable, so at least now you can enter that zone and see what's there in it. So someone tells you, hey, I have a thriller for you, or hey, I have a comedy for you. At least you know what you're getting into, and that just makes it easier.
I think, to go back to your original question, I would
Yes.
say
What the hell is a genre?
A
Yeah.
genre is a mood, I would say.
Okay.
Like a cuisine is also a mood. Just like I'd sort of take the food analogy forward
Yeah,
today.
we
Yeah,
talking
y'all
food
set
today.
the mood for the
Yeah.
day. Yeah. So, there are days when you just know you've got to have, that Indian Chinese, or there are days when you really want to bite into that burger. I would say similarly, you also know that there are days when a compelling thriller is really what you're in the mood for, or you can't put a finger on the mood that you're in for today. And then in that case, I think we Indians love genre mashups.
Yes.
So I think we've taken the conventional boundaries of genres and really blurred them. We have a song in every film. We now also have a song in every series. And we love our romances, we love our chases, and I don't think genres are boundaries for that. And that's the amazing part of actually being able to tell authentically Indian stories that are told in an authentically Indian way. So I think we love to cross boundaries. But yes, of course, I think there are days just going into. I don't think you can watch the same thing every day. I don't think you can sort of continue once you've binged, say a season of Scoop, or the next day you would want to sort of move to a Guns and Gulabs and really sort of laugh and get your gangster fix and things like that. And then you could move very seamlessly, therefore, into a Hunt
So
for
when
Veerappan.
you're looking at the consumer, Tanya, and as you rightly put it, it's like cuisine in the sense, okay, I had Chinese yesterday, I'm going to go to Lashkara today and have chole bhature. I'm going to just keep bringing this. Actually, it wasn't chole bhature, it was chole kulche, right? But the point being, when you are relighting subjects, is that how you see it as well? So, okay, you know what? We've done just greenlit a comedy, so let's just look at something in the thriller space. Okay, we just did something in the thriller space. Let's do a documentary series. Is that how you look at it from a, you start with the genre?
We start with a really flexible line saying our brief changes depending on the mood of the audience. So we don't have a brief. I think we really look for distinct ideas, and I think if I look at 2023, it's a great year for us. It's really sort of taken us to the steady state that we expect to be in. And if you look across the year, and I don't mean to sort of calendarize it from Jan to October for us, but there are diverse titles like A Trial by Fire, which is a distinctive story, which is probably also the only story that's hit it from India in the IMDb Global TV Meter, with shows like Chernobyl.
What genre would you call it?
That's a true story.
A true story is a genre,
True
right?
story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I contrast that with Rana Naidu, which is your pulpy, male-skewed thriller, that's that's bread and butter in some cases, or everyday fare, in that sense. And then you move to a very distinct sort of story in Scoop or Kohra, which is crime, but both of them are such different renditions.
True
of
crime? Would Scoop be a true crime?
Yeah,
in that
Scoop
sense?
would be
Right.
a true crime. I think we called Kora a crime drama because it's not just crime, but it also sort of has great amounts of like human drama and character specific elements that we were trying to sort of uncover with it. That's also Sudeep's signature style. And then there's Guns and Gulabs, which is a mash of so many genres, but yet a distinct.
Guns and Gulabs and Gulshan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. He's Charkat Atmaram. Yeah, so that's like a hat tip to all things Indian, right? So so we called it a genre bender, and there are many speculations of like can genre benders work in series, but ours worked wonderfully and it was a smashing hit for us. And then actually today we launch a really unique genre. Speaking of genres, I must bring it up. We're launching Kala Pani, which is India's first survival drama. And that's a unique space that we're really excited
Tanya,
to
you've
get
done a
into.
fantastic job of PowerPoint presentation of 2023 Netflix.
You set
What
it
all
up
we
very
did.
well.
I get you. I do see where you're coming from, and I think you're looking at diversity. I'm going to come back to the same question with you, Gulshan. How hard is it to even define sometimes, especially the stuff that you've done pretty much throughout your career? Like if you take, I'm also saying it because Radhika is here. When you take a, Mard ko dard nahi hota. What genre is it? Is it comedy? Of course, it's comedy. It's martial arts too, which makes it action.
It helps me to have some sort of a perspective. It does help. It doesn't have to be an accurate portrayal of that particular genre. And somebody like Vasan or Rajan DK, you can't really classify them as a certain genre because they mix a lot of genres. They're cinephiles, so they will definitely do that.
Yeah.
But in the case of, say, Guns and Gulab, for me to sort of, as an actor, approach it, I had to try and simplify it to something which was interesting for me. So I thought I'm in a western, like a spaghetti western. And my whole approach to Atmaram's character was that I'm in a spaghetti western. So if you see my hands, they're a little bit like a gunslinger, ready to draw every time the walk and things like that. It really suited the sensibility with which Rajan DK were telling a story. So
But
similarly,
are you lampooning it in your head, or you're
yeah,
generally
I'm
in that
making
world?
it up in my head.
Right.
Yeah, this is all imagination.
So it's a Western comedy that in your head.
So I use genres to help me
Frame
sort
it.
of serve a sensibility.
Right.
Yeah, frame it.
Right.
So like when I was working with her, I was like, I'm in a fantasy. I mean, it looks like it's based in reality, but all of those things are so fantasy elements. It's like it's like Vasan was this young boy who was standing at the bus stop waiting for his bus and looking at the school bully who bullies him every day, and he thinks मैं तेरे को ऐसे मारूंगा, मैं तेरे को वैसे मारूंगा, मैं ये करूंगा, उधर से कूद के मारूंगा इधर, लेकिन होता कुछ नहीं है, दिमाग में बहुत कुछ किया है ना, fantasy. That whole movie is a fantasy. So when I read it, that's how I looked at it. Like, I have to approach this like a fantasy. They seem like real people, but they're not. They're really over the top in many ways. The protagonist itself, the whole character, his life and everything is so over the top. It's a fantasy. So I think as an actor, having these ideas about certain films, even though they are not making those films, helps me sort of serve the sensibility of the director. So that's how I kind of, not every time, but in these two instances, I used genres to sort of
To help you.
to help me. Yeah.
Mayank,
Right.
I agree with what Gulshan is saying is because like on a broader category you have like all your genres, but then how are you pitching it? So you have comedy, but then how are you pitching it? For example, Scoop for me was also about the relationship of this woman with her son, and you know her own turmoil of how what she wanted to do with her life, and she didn't want to be where she is. So that itself is a very different storyline, which is going along with a real crime thriller. So you know that's what I take out, and so for me the pitch of how you're pitching, and the pitch has to be in tandem with your partners of who you're working with, is because I can talk comedy, but then comedy can be like over the top comedy, and then comedy could be real life
Satire,
comedy,
right.
satire,
Yeah.
or it could be black comedy. So where are we setting it in? And I think that is what is the most important thing of how are you looking at it as a pitch? What are you telling your actors? What are you telling your producing partners? What are you telling yourself? That where do you want to pitch your story, and where do you want to be? I think that is the most important thing, because on paper we can write, and we can write dialogues which may look comedy, but as a director and as a producer, when you're reading it, we very clearly need to know where we are pitching it, because if we pitch it wrong, then we are all over the place.
And then there is the reaction to once it's made, right?
Yeah, then
Um,
it's like,
I mean, no names named really, but honestly, like the worst kind of dilution is when you're going in to shoot a comedy and then when you get an edit and saying, actually, this is a drama.
Right.
And you're like, but we were making a.
Gaur, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, also as actors, I was just to elaborate a little on what Gulshan was saying, and also Ashwini, that as actors, then the character you play also becomes a genre that's in your mind, right? I mean, say like a Shiksha Mandal was probably a action genre for me, for the character that I played, but for Gulshan it was an everyday man who was trying to resolve a mystery. So
It was a crime drama.
it was a crime drama,
Right.
yeah. So for as actors, the character you play also becomes a genre that you have to stay true to,
Right.
to deliver.
But you know, I have to say this on behalf of a lot of people who watch content on OTTs, and a common complaint has always been, yeah, बहुत dark hai. It's too dark. Every time I switch on, especially Indian content is full of darkness out there. One, firstly, is that the dominant genre? Second, is it easier to make dark stuff as against to OTT comedy and get away with it? Are we producing too much of it because of that reason? Third, or are we producing too much of it because it's a nascent medium? This darkness was not possible in mainline television, where everything has to be family, family, family. This darkness was not possible in the theatrical scene, because everything had to be like over the top, and it has to be like all fun and all genre Bollywood movie. What is the reason why there's so much darkness out there in the OTT space? I'm going to start with you, Tanya.
I mean,
She says, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Looking at me while asking the question, am I?
On behalf of the public, obviously. I love dark
Let's
stuff.
have some statistics from Netflix.
Yes.
No, I love what you just said when no one heard. I love dark stuff. I'm saying there's no action without reaction, but having said that, I actually don't think there is as much dark content as there used to be. I think the play has been to diversify. I feel like the play has been to bring in the dramas, to bring in possibly even the soaps, right? To bring in the romances. But these dramas are always way tougher to write. I think, because this medium is largely about characters, it is really about crafting those memorable characters who will, sort of stay with you and lend to that storytelling season on season. And that's a very, very heavy lift. We're learning short form storytelling in that sense. For the last 5 years, it's been a very short journey. These are more complex genres to arrive at. A thriller is so propulsive, it's so compelling because there's always a great plot, and that keeps you going episode on episode. So perhaps it's also just the way we are maturing as an industry. But there is a diverse amount of content being produced. And again, I would say that if you just compare the same two examples of a Scoop versus a Cora, both are actually crime dramas. you
Right.
know, and both have a thrilling component to them. But they both
But where are the rom-coms and where is that young adult fiction? Where is that completely mindless stuff
On Netflix.
which I don't want to think about at all? It's all there.
on Netflix. I'm saying Class.
It's all on Netflix, as it were. Like
But
every-
perhaps crime dramas are the most versatile
would that
in terms
be
of the kinds
would that
of
be the dominant genre? Would crime be the dominant genre?
Unfortunately, not. I don't
It
think
isn't.
there is. I
It just
don't
seems
think,
like it.
Yeah, it just feels
Yeah.
like it. I think it just stacks up like that in people's mind and reckoning. It's also
Yeah.
because I think even if you look at films, I think thrillers do sort of respond. The audience
Yeah.
responds to it. So yeah.
I think it's a psychology of human mind to be curious, to know what is going to happen next, and that's why
Who killed whom?
yeah, or what happened, and वो दूसरों के विंडो में जाके देखना कि क्या हो रहा है is a very human psychology. So I think that is something which will come through. But having said that, because of I'm just trying to understand from my little advertising
Yeah.
consumer mind, is that it's a very single viewing also thriller as a genre, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tanya, and it just feels as if that you can just watch it on your own, because if you see in a flight
Yeah.
and you have to see
I'm
the
always
amount
noticing
of-
what people are watching in the flight,
yes,
yes.
and the amount of downloads which happen for all these kind of shows is immense. Is that every time you're in a flight and you just look on your left and your right and you're seeing the kind of shows people are
Do
watching.
you agree with the public, Rasika, that there's just too much dark stuff out there, and
Yeah.
whatever happened to just having fun and watching rubbish? No, I don't mean rubbish in a real sense. Something that does not like engage you in a way that you can't sleep tonight because you just saw Kora. I'm like, Punjab mein kya ho raha hai? Let's save Punjab tonight, yeah. Huh?
I had done so many independent films before the streaming services came about.
You were doing OTT before there was OTT.
I had done dark stuff, which is way darker than what we have online today. So I was just very happy to find a home and a wider audience
Yes.
for the dark stuff. So
Right.
I'm very happy if that is what is prevalent. I in fact feel it can, from an audience perspective, I feel it can go even darker, and I have no problem with that. But I think there is a wide variety to watch online.
Right.
Like, I mean, to use a Netflix example, I love watching Sex Education, for example. I think it's a great.
I loved
fun
watching
show.
Valeria. Oh my god, what a show!
We'll get to your favorites, but I think what cannot be denied, and this is totally something that's happened as a result of OTT, which I think, which all of us believe is a revolution, is new genres that we've all explored in ways that, for instance, the mainstreaming of documentaries. I think the last thing that I watched, last 5 things I watched were all documentaries. You made a fantastic documentary series on the breakup, as it were, of Mahesh and Leander. You're a hardcore commercial filmmaker. To be delving in the genre was a new thing for you. I want your opinion on the fact that this may be the first time that we are personally consuming content in a way that is totally for us, in a way that we read books once upon a time. It can be on our phone and the whole family doesn't need to watch it. Do you think that just creates a lot more intimate stuff where even art house might become cool because I'm just watching it, like reading it like a novel? Do you think that's happening at some level, or am I just being optimistic in terms of what people are going to love because it's a very personal entertainment now?
I feel that it's the best time for storytellers.
Yes.
Is because there was a time when we tell certain kind of stories and then we are tagged that we need to be telling only stories like that.
Yeah.
And there is so much
Now
of
you
pressure.
just have to click some
There is
boxes,
so much
no?
of
Thriller bhi hai, comedy
pressure.
bhi hai, huh?
No, there is so much of pressure on us as a maker that okay, your last film was this, so now your next film has to be bigger. It has to have the tick marks of whatever is there. But what I really am enjoying right now is that when you remove all these things, that do you like the story? Do you want to make it? I'm going to make it. I'm not bothered about, oh my God, what are the box office numbers saying,
Sure.
or what are the tick marks saying, or anything, is because for me, I made a Bareli Ki Barfi, I made a Panga, but then I went and made a documentary
You can
series.
do that, and that would be true
This
for
thing.
actors as well, right? The kind of variety
And now I think I'm
that
more
you have.
open also when I call and ask, say that, I want to make this.
Yeah.
And the response is, are you sure? You want to make it? Oh, fine. We never knew that. I think that is what has given storytellers like us a big platform.
Right.
In real sense. Yeah.
What do actors need? We need good opportunities. And if storytellers are empowered, then they create those opportunities. So
And I think what the film buffs need or content buffs need is to watch different kinds of stuff. I'm going to wrap this session with one question, which is all of you tell us what is the last thing that you watched, what genre was it, and that you would recommend to the audience. Ideally, something that you did not star in. Starting with you, Gauhar. What's the last thing that you watched? What genre was it, and why would you recommend it?
I've had a baby recently, so I don't
That
get
was the
a
greatest
lot
production
of,
ever.
I don't get a
Can't
lot
beat
of
that shit now.
time to watch stuff
That's
right
family
now.
drama, isn't
Baby
it?
Shark. A lot of drama going on there. But I did watch Gauhar, which was my last show that I actually got so involved in that I found time to finish that series. I think it was a very well made show. It had elements of everything. It had thrill. It had the darkness that you're talking about. It had a lot of relatability to what's happening in and around us today. So that was a show that I was really hooked
I hope
on.
your 5-month-old was kept away from
Absolutely.
Even
He's,
like
not,
subliminally
he's,
should not
he's
enter.
not allowed to have any screen time.
Rasika?
The last one I watched was a show called Kalkoot, which is on Geo, and I thought it was amazing. Very good writing, excellent performances. I think it would qualify as crime drama.
Right.
And dark.
Radhika?
So I was obsessed with the dark stuff, and I used to indulge myself a lot in all of that. So now I've made a conscious choice not to watch shows which are that dark, because it affects my mind.
Yeah.
So I consciously opt for the reality shows, Love is Blind, Too Hot to Handle, and The Ultimatum. So that's all on Netflix. And
If I was you, I would say this publicly, but never mind.
Oh my god, like it is such a breather. And like I watched Gauhar, it was amazing. But after that, I needed a break. And for me, that break is reality TV.
It's chewing gum for the brain.
Yes,
right?
definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. Ashwini?
I watched this series called Burning Man right now. I think it was really nice. What is amazing is that you could get to watch stories across the world in their language.
Yes.
But the
Which is
emotions
another
are
part.
still the same, so
Yeah.
it was very nice. Then I rewatched Maid. And since Tanya said, I'm not saying that, I really want to remake Maid if it's possible. I really like that show. I rewatched it. Then there's another show which I keep going back to, and I just watch episodes of that, is Valeria, which I just spoke about.
Right.
It's almost like Sex and the City, but a Spanish version of that.
Right. That's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
I'm gonna challenge you to name 2-3 shows which are not on Netflix that you've loved.
You'll be surprised. But I'm like her, I have to watch many things at the same
Right,
time.
right.
Not on Netflix.
Not on Netflix.
Ted Lasso.
Are you allowed to?
Huh?
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, you are allowed to.
Tehran.
Right.
Then I really loved the movie Air.
Yes.
All of this is in the last 2-3 months, but lots more, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also dip into like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Schitt's Creek every time. I just like need to watch something for just that one night. Quickly watch any episode and just move on.
Gulshan,
I can't
don't say
that.
Guns N' Gloves. No, you can't say.
You already said it, so that's fine. Thank you for the advertising. Like Bollywood Hungama needed to know that. I just couldn't remember a name, so I was furiously Googling without my reading glasses. So that was challenging.
With the
two
new
of them-
genre.
New genre, yeah. Optodrama. So, two I'd like to mention. The Bear, I think it's a drama. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It's world-class performances and fantastic storytelling. The other one was the name I couldn't remember is Good Omens. It's a fantasy comedy. So that was fantasy comedy, and it was really fun. As in, of course, isn't the best show in the world or something like that. But
Right.
I had a lot of fun watching because fantasy comedy. So,
Yeah, but I'm sure even when
you
it's
know, but I would like to see suggest if somebody is up to it to make erotic social drama. How about that?
So,
For
I
a
mean-
challenge.
whatever said and done, whether it's erotic or social, what you do need is drama in it. And I think that really is sort of the conclusion of this conversation. No matter what the genre, if there is a conflict, if there is a story, if there is a drama, we're sitting and watching. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us in this session.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, please settle down. We also have a special surprise. Please welcome one of the most fun-loved radio presenter, RJ Prerna. Most fun-loved. There's a lot of... Thank you, Urmil. I love it. Women for women. Genre for genre. Drama for drama. Can we please clap for this esteemed, stage full of panelists. I think it has been a great start to the first day. Hello everyone. You guys look lovely. Before we play a little bit of a game, I just quickly want to also ask a few questions. Starting with you, Gauhar. First of all, congratulations. Fantastic. How do you do it all? And look so lovely. It's a challenge, I must say. So the question that I have for you is, how do you maintain total control during high pressure situations or major projects? And the major project could also be of being the mother, or whichever do you want to choose.
How do I maintain
Control.
Oh.
Total control.
So let me introduce myself. I'm a control freak. No, I've just been like this all my life, and I have been a sort of a person who's taken charge of my life, of what needs to happen in my family, and now, of course, with my husband and my baby and my work, I'm enjoying it even more. So I enjoy taking charge and being in control of it. So I must say, easy peasy.
Someone else is taking control, then that's not easy.
Yeah, that's not easy. That's not easy for them then.
Yeah. Rasika, the bangs are gone. I'm not happy about it.
I'm also not happy.
But that's okay. We will move on in life. आपके लिए सवाल है, has being in total control changed your perspective on success and happiness in your professional and personal life?
Who says I'm in control of anything?
Reality check by Rasika Duggal.
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, that's the first thing you learn. You realize that you have no control over anything. Over your work, over how it comes out, nothing. You've done something, it looks like something else. You felt it was the best scene in the world. It looks like nothing. You felt it was the worst scene in the world and it looks so beautiful. So you're like, I had nothing to do with any of this and I have zero control over it.
Thank you. Rasika Duggal for everybody. Rasika Duggal. Radhika, quick question for you as well. Besides asking you about why Ganji Chodel is your algorithm on Instagram, and that's an inside joke, but everybody, Ganji Chodel for the win. What advice do you have for aspiring artists who want to maintain total control over their work?
I would say don't just go for formulas. Don't chase formulas, because then you won't be able to offer anything original. When you try to be somebody you're not, because that has worked for that particular person, you're always going to be a copy of that person. You will never be able to bring out yourself. So find your own success, find your own pace, pave your own path, and it may take more time, it might not take time, but it's your journey. You live it, you own it.
Thank you. Very, very inspiring. Ashwini, अगला सवाल आपके लिए. Being in total control, has that changed your perspective on success and happiness? And are you, first of all, let's just clear this. Are you a person who is completely in control all the time?
In control of my life, yes. In control of my children, no.
Dragging some family drama here as well. Nice.
Yeah, because Mayank wanted drama, so I'm just giving it right now.
Right.
In control of what I want to do in life and how I want to lead my life, I'm completely in control of that. Of course, there would be a lot of ups and downs, and you never know what challenges life throws onto you. So I truly feel that the one thing which I do every day is only chase happiness and very clearly know what my purpose is. If I keep hearing and comparing myself, or in anything we do in life, I think we're just chasing sadness then.
Yeah.
So it's important to just keep chasing happiness every day, and no matter what, to just keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Because one day I know for a fact that things will turn out the way you want it to be. So you just need to keep working, keep doing your work hard, and just be your own self, be your own personality.
Thank you. It takes a lot of courage to actually own up to yourself. I think that's another journey in itself, but on another day. Tanya, मेरा अगला सवाल आपके लिए है. The basic question that I have for you is the people who do not want to be in the forefront of camera and want to be in the back end of things, to the aspiring people who want to be where you are right now, what is the kind of advice that you would give so that they can be in total control of their aspiring career?
I think just work hard.
Just work hard.
Work hard, watch a lot of content, read a lot of books, meet a lot of people, live life. And, the control is just a little bit of an illusion.
Yeah.
I think you have to walk the path.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Tanya. Gulshan! Yay!
I must warn you, this control question is a 3.5-hour podcast answer from me.
So I want to ask you a control question.
No,
I'll ask you
ask
South
about
Africa or Netherlands के बीच. No, I'm just kidding. बताइए, are you a control freak or are you in control? What is the parameter 1 से लेके 10 के बीच में, 10 being the highest, that you think you are in control?
I'd like to be in control, but the more I think that I'd like to be in control, the more I realize that it's pointless to try to be in control. There are certain things in life that you must control, like the monster inside all of us. We must control that. We don't want that monster to be let out. But we cannot control so many things. Like, for example, if I've done a show, my perception, how people perceive me, whether people like me, don't like me, they find me funny, they find me good looking or not. No matter how hard I try, I can't really control that. I can perhaps nudge them in a certain direction, but I cannot have absolute control. So to have absolute control, unless it's about tire.
That's Gulshan, Devaiah and his control theory.
Yeah,
Yes.
one shouldn't really, I think it's pointless, at least from my perspective, to sort of try and be in control all the time, and sometimes you should you should accept that you cannot be in control at all times.
Yeah.
And JK Tires, I will send you the QR code.
Of course, it was supposed to be a very subtle integration until. Can we please have a few volunteers from this esteemed, set of panelists? 2 to 3, whoever wants to sort of volunteer, because it's a cricket fever going on. I just want to have you come slightly ahead, and then I'm going to take you maybe through a certain activity, and we'll see. So whoever wants to volunteer, just put your hand up. Oh, great. Oh, superb. Yeah, go for it. Yes. Hey, इतना physical भी नहीं है. It's cool. So first things first, Radhika. South Africa or Netherlands come नहीं, I'm just kidding. Listen, आपको एक क्रिकेट का शॉट खेलना है, आपका फेवरेट शॉट. It can be Virat Kohli's cover drive, but if it's too much strategy for you, it's okay. You can just play the way you would like to play. Hanji? Oh, superb, superb. Guys, can we please clap for Radhika for playing a cover drive of her choice? Radhika, do we know a cover drive? Doesn't matter. Can we just clap anyway? Yes. Shabash. Gulshan ball डाल रहे हैं. I am the wicket keeper. I'm KL Rahul. That was a proper 6 by Radhika Madan. अब आपकी बारी, Gulshan. Cover drive, Virat Kohli style. I don't know Virat Kohli style. I do cover drive. Only Gulshan style. Okay. I think that's a fantastic shot. Can we please clap? Can you please take your seats? Thank you so much for that. गौहर, आप खेलना चाहती हैं या फिर you want to take a break off? हो चुके हैं. हो चुके हैं. Mother cut. Mother drive. Thank you so much, Gulshan. If you want to keep that, that's okay. I can keep it. But yeah, thanks. Thanks, no problem at all. I think that was absolutely fantastic. Can we please put our hands up together for this fantastic lot?
for being early, waking up, showing up, giving us content and entertaining us. So, which is why I would really have you to take some gift hampers home. For Radhika, Rasika and Gauhar from Smoor, can we please put our hands up together and can we please have these gift hampers here as well so that Mayank, if you could just do the honors of giving them. Thank you. And being a part of this esteemed morning. Can we please give them a huge round of applause once again?